Hey guys, System here, and this is All the Mods Tend to the Sky. Myself, I'm having a wonderful day. Hope you guys all are as well. Let's go ahead to board and get back into the space pack. In between episodes, have not done too much. I did do a bit, I guess. I did a bit of crafting, as well as, I guess out here, I added something to the mob farm. I broke one of my blocks. Oh, I didn't make that one glowing. It broke. But anyway, over here we have Mob Masher upgrade, and this one is the beheading, because I needed a single head to make one of these here, a soul binder. So I went ahead and got that done. That is done in this one here, the Slice and Spice, right? We're going to be using that today to automate some witch stuff, parts of the star, right? And then down here, I have a bunch of eggs in here. I needed eggs to get me a witch, and I'm going to need a zombie later as well. So I just threw capturing on my sword, sat in the mob farm, and just beat on mobs. Yeah, just have +5 capturing. I threw sweeping edge on there too to make it faster. It works out really well. You get yourself a good amount of mob eggs, and that handles that. And I don't think I did anything else except for maybe this over here. I finally set up the recipe for the Draconic reactor cores. I actually have a couple of them now. Let's go to Draconic. Go ahead and grab one, just like that. Works perfectly. Just does the stuff and things. It's super fast, and you get everything done. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? Boom, done. The way I did that was the same as the other ones, right? So I just have it, not there, in here. Using the same setup. So just whitelist on the item that goes here. Blacklist on sending it to all the different injectors. So super simple, super easy, super clean. I have to say I like it. So what we're going to do today is go ahead and work on more ATM starter components, right? So the first one we're going to work on is going to be the Sentient Ender, and this one's going to be a little weird, but we'll get through it pretty easily. I think I came up with a pretty elegant setup to get this done. This recipe has a little issue, right? So you can set up you can kind of break it down. So you do the Resonant Ender, and then you automate the filled soul vial with a witch in it. But the problem is AE2, when you do a automation just for a crafting recipe with the filled soul vial with the witch, it doesn't recognize the MPT data. So we're going to have a way to work around that. And that's going to be the first thing we work on today. So let's go ahead and jump into it and go ahead and use all this stuff. So I think we're going to go ahead and set this up outside. So let's go ahead and find the spot I decided to go with here. Probably right here. So we're going to have a little spot here to do our automation, and that should work out. I'm going to use a connector here for channels. I haven't really thought about where to put the channels right now. Maybe I'll do something like this here. Let's go ahead and do that. That right there. That'll be kind of the start of it. Then we'll have to go ahead and get that wired up, and then we're good to go. So the first machine we have here is a mob duplicator. This could be used to actually spawn in the witches. It needs to have essence and power. Then it'll do those things, right? I'm not going to put any upgrades in this, but that'll be kind of how we have that set up there. If I show the working range, you'll see that's the working range right here. So it leaves a block underneath it where it does nothing, right? So you can actually put a block under the mob's foot. So that's going to be useful for our automation here. We're going to have an advanced clicker. That's going to be on top of this. So that'll be kind of how that works there. And this one here is going to be used to use soul vials on the witch to put it into the soul vial. So that's going to be how we have that set up. Don't think I need to change anything in here. Oh, no, I actually do. We need to go to target hostile, and that'll be that part of that. Then outside of that, we'll have a barrel. Barrel will probably sit right here. And this is going to be used to distribute items to 3 different machines, right? So we'll end up with a provider underneath it down here. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab that. Pop that right there. So the provider will sit there. It's going to put all the items in the barrel. And it's going to be doing the recipe for 3 different machines, right? So it's going to be here. Then we're going to kind of distribute it to the areas that needs to go. Then we're going to have, I guess, not concrete. Which one do I want first? We'll do the Slice and Spice. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. I keep calling it Spice. It is Splice. That's what it is. There we go. So this one here is going to require one of these. And this is going to be the one that actually makes these here, the Ender Resonators. So they'll get crafted in here. You'll want some unbreakable tools. So I made all the Modium axe, and I made Supremium shears. Both of these are unbreakable. So that'll handle that. I'm going to go ahead and set the settings on this one right now. I know it's going to have to be on push-pull. So it's going to pull in the items that it needs to craft, then put it back into the barrel. It's going to be the way we want that one. We have duders. They'll be gone in a second anyway. On top of that, we'll have a soul binder. This one here is going to do the actual crafting of the, what is that item called? The Sentient Ender. It's going to take the filled soul vial and the Ender Resonator and then pop that out. Then we'll have an empty soul vial at the end of that. and we'll just have to pull that and the finished craft into the system. I think on this machine here, I need a pull. These machines are pretty smart too. To only pull in items they can craft with, so they don't pull in junk. So they're actually pretty nice to work with there. Another thing we'll need here is a advanced hopper upgrade, and this is going to be used to move the soul vial into the advanced clicker. So what we'll do is go ahead and disable the sides there. This is the front of it, so we want the back. We'll do a, how would this work? So that could be a push or a pull. No, it'll be a push. So we'll have a push going there, and then we'll have the vials. So let's go ahead and grab our vials here, like thus. Takes a second to craft these. I wish this mod here, Ender.io, had better upgrades. That's one thing this mod is desperate need of. It's still in kind of the old days where every mod was slow. Everything's so OP now, it just doesn't keep up. We'll go ahead and set allow, and we'll set a soul vial here. I want to make sure that's set right too, so it should end up in here. That's good. We know that's working. Now the next thing we need to do is pull. So this is you got to be careful of this machine too. I guess the clicker. So you can see I did some testing in creative. When the soul vial goes in here, right, and if you kind of try to stack them, like you try to like pre-buffer 64 with an auto crafting recipe, if the slot is just one soul vial, right, you'll get the vial here, and then you can pull out of it. Otherwise, if you have like a stack of the soul vials, when it uses it, it'll drop it in the world, right? So what I want to have is just one in there at any time. That'll make our automation way easier. What kind of cables do I have here? I don't need anything fast. Let's go ahead and grab one of you. So what we'll do is set it to here, and then we'll have to filter this, I guess. So let's go ahead and grab a filter. Do I need a filter? Yeah, so filter works. Let's go ahead and grab a basic filter. There we go. I didn't grab the actual filter. Cool. And then we'll use that on the extract. And then I'll probably want on a blacklist set to a vial, right? So let's actually hunt down a vial, which I think I left nowhere. It's in here. Go ahead and go hunt down the vial. Where did my vial go? It's here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I have no idea where I put it. Anyway, we'll make another one. There you go. Go ahead and set the filter right there. Set that to a blacklist. And then it'll only pull out the one we want, right? Go ahead and set that to always active. Make sure this one is set to insert. There you go. And then I guess the rest of this would be, this is pretty much done, actually. I need to set up fluids. So this one here requires experience. So underneath this one here, we'll have a cool item I found. I've never seen these before. ME import export buses. Actually perfect for this situation. So what I'll do is pop this one here. I'm going to set it to essence. There you go. And that'll be the experience, right? And the way they work is anything that, so you have to filter on the import, right? But anything that isn't filtered, it'll pull out. So it'll actually pull out the finished craft when it's done. And it'll pull out the vial as well. So that'll handle that. We don't have to do anything else for that. That's actually super rad. We'll just need power over here. I don't think we need anything else. This one here, there was one more machine I had to send an item. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, the duplicator. Duplicator is going to need, I need to get back there. Go ahead and do this. I have to go ahead and cover this up when we're done, but that's fine. Duplicator is going to need, and where did I put that? Oh, we have an issue. It was never there. Anyway, go ahead and grab some channels. Duplicator is also going to need essence. Oh, before I do this too, let's that's the clicker. I need the duplicator down here. I want to pull that out. I don't want them spawning in right away. We'll need ourselves exporter. So let's go ahead and grab an export bus. And this one just needs to send in essence. So we'll go ahead and grab essence here again. Here we go. And that should fill up that duplicator with essence. I kind of mapped out the exact amount you need to spawn in a witch too. So it varies by mobs. Like I said, create a world. 340 millibuckets if you want to do it. Because that's how I was initially trying to do it. Where I just sent essence and we got the, the filled vial back. But it didn't work out, like I said, because of the MPT data. But anyway, it's going to work here. And that should fill up, and we're good. Like I said, I'm not going to speed this up here. And I think this is done, except for working out the recipe and sealing it off so the witches can't get out. So let's go ahead and make the recipe, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that as well. So over here, we're going to have a processing recipe. Be for the, I guess the easiest way to do it would be for the Sentient Ender. No, would be for the Resident Ender. It's right there. And the only thing we should have to add to that is a vial, right? So it'll send that and that, and then it should automatically make the filled soul vial, and then all the items should end up in the soul binder, and everything should get bound together. And then we'd have to change it, so this is what we get out of it, right? There you go. Oh, maybe? Sentient? Sentient. Okay. They look so much the same, I wasn't sure if we had it. So yeah, so we're just using that recipe to pull the items, putting in a soul vial, then changing the output, so it's a Sentient Ender. So that's going to be how that recipe is set up there. And that should work. Let me look at it another second here. Make sure I actually have everything correct. Go ahead, pop you in there. So all the items will end up here. This will pull what it needs. This will pull what it needs. It's going to push the vial back here. Okay, let's do that again. It's going to get all the items. The vial will end up here. It's going to, the witch will always be here, so it's just going to get used on, right? Then the item will get pulled into here, so we'll have the filled soul vial. And on this side, it's going to do the crafting for the Ender Resonator, and that's going to do the push back in. And then this one is set to pull, right? If so, this is right. It'll pull that back into here, and then finish off the craft, at which point this importer should pull everything into the system. So let me get this cleaned up and see if this works. I think it will. I think we are pretty much done here. You can see it's a very elegant system for kind of a a complicated situation. I just have no words. Another thing I forgot to mention I did in between episodes was actually set up this one here for Enderman. And this one is getting us the heads we need for the recipe, right? So if you look at the Resonator, you need these Enderman heads. I was getting them from the beheading, but this gets them here. So just have the prediction in there. Probably let it run for a while. We probably have a bunch of them now anyway, right? Enderman, let's see here, Enderman heads. We got 630. I'll let it go until we have a few thousand. But I completely forgot about that. We should be able to queue up the recipe right now before it's powered and see if all the items are going to the right place. So I have it kind of covered up here. And I wanted to go ahead and make sure this is actually working before I power it. Go ahead and send the Sentient Ender here, right? Nothing's going to happen right now because I have nothing in the machine. But if I order one now, the item should at least end up in the right spot. So those ended up there. The vial is there. And the rest will be carried out. Okay, so I think I actually have it. Let's do that. Let's pull you out. Then I guess the last thing I need to do is hunt down the duplicator one more time. There you go. That's going to need this here. That's going to spawn a witch right away too. Do I have my glass in place? I do not. But throw it there. Then we'll go ahead and throw this in here. Oh yeah, we need the power as well. I guess that'll be helpful. And anything else I need to get in there? No, I just need to get power. So let's go ahead and grab that, get a point, and figure out the area that we want the power to cover, I guess, as well. So I think I got everything powered, right? Unless I need to make sure that clicker's powered. Let's go ahead and just make sure that has power in it as well. It does, so it looks like we're good. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Go ahead and throw some of this down. There'll always be a witch here, which is fine, but that is good. Yeah, I think we're good here. So if I go ahead and order one up now, we got the vial here. Let's go ahead and see if it actually happens. So if we do this to do that, it's going to take a second this time because it's going to have to craft all the items. We should see them come in here at some point. The witch should be already done now? Why is the witch not done? That's there. The Resonator ended up in here. That should be on a pull, dude. Push. Pull. So that part's done. I'm just not sure. Why did you not get a vial? Oh, you are there. It's supposed to target hostile. How's this witch not hostile? Why? Oh, this was set for my bees. This is where I stole this from. Let's do that. This, and then that. There we go. And then it's going to craft it. And that should take care of it. This is why I usually grab clean machines, too. And the imports come again. I'll have to speed that importer down there. But that should handle that. That's cool. So if I go down here and speed this up, because that's an important one to speed up. The other ones don't really matter. You should be able to grab another one here right now, and it should work. There we go. I was confused there for a second. Let's go ahead and get that render off, too. Gets the items. I already got the witch. It should be at here. It's crafting up this. Went to the barrel. Goes in here. Gets crafted up. Gets the 4 levels of experience it needs. Pulls in the items. And that's going to be how we automate that. Isn't that slick? That's a slick little, very nice little setup here. I have to say that is elegant, is the way of putting that. That is actually pretty cool. So the next thing I want to go to work on is going to be this here, a player transmitter. To do that, we need a aerial pearl. This one here, actually. It says use an aerial pearl on a zombie or a husk, so more right-clicking. Have the recipe we're going to use here. So it's going to send only 0.24 buckets of essence, and then craft the pearl, right? So we have this little custom recipe. I already have one down there. So let's go ahead and set that up. I already kind of designated a space for it. So we'll have it over here. So the way this will be, we'll have a mob duplicator. So kind of sit over here somewhere. Maybe right there. Is that a good spot? I could put it back one more, but it doesn't matter. Then we'll have a pattern provider. That's going to feed the essence in that. Then we're going to have this here, a wireless controller. You need to go ahead and get some channels, right? Channels are a good thing. I have this. Go ahead and right click on there. Apparently I did not link that up, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Zoom, zoom. Grab that. It's all linked up. And then this one's going to be a lot easier too. It's not like the last one. Should only take a couple minutes here. So that's linked up there. We got our channels. Then we'll have ourselves a simple clicker. And that would probably have to sit one higher because of the way this thing works, right? Yes, let's go ahead and put it. Actually, would it matter? Or will it just spawn the mob there? I'm actually curious now. Let's try it out. So if I put it right, yeah, let's put it one above, just so I don't have to mess around with it. We'll kind of science it out later on. So we'll do that, right? There we go. So I'll just have a exporter here. We'll use one of these stock export buses. Let's do that. Go ahead and hook that up. Then we're going to export this to it, right? So we'll have one of the aerial pearls, the base one, and then we're going to limit that to 1. So it should already be limited anyway. Then give it a crafting card. Then it should end up at here. We want that on target hostile, which it is now. And that should handle that part of it. We'll have to have a block here, so let's just throw one. And anything else here we need to do? The only other thing, I guess, is to pull the item out, right? So let's go ahead and grab a import bus. If we only have this single item in here, it should end up in here, so that'll work. Actually, will that work? I think this will work. So anyway, let's go ahead and do that. Pull that down here. We'll have to tell it what to pull, because right now it's pulling pearls into the system, I guess. So let's go ahead and drop them off. And that should be good. So I think that's effectively it, actually. Yeah, it'll end up sending the essence. Right-clicking, the item should end up in here, at which point the importer should be able to pull it based on the filter. So let's go ahead and seal it up, give it a test. I'll have to throw the imprisonment tool in there and get them spawning. And this way the zombie isn't always there, it's only there during the craft, which is kind of neat. So to do that, and then we'll need some power. Well, we just do an induction for that, so let's pop that there. Cool, and then anything else? The recipe, right? So let's go ahead and drop off the recipe and see if we can actually craft one of these. So player aerial pearl. Tell that to craft. There you go. Oh, still dropping the world. Okay, so an importer isn't going to work. Not sure why. Maybe because it's a simple one. It doesn't matter either way. Because we could just do a collector. So let's go ahead and grab a collector here. Advanced collector. Fantastic. Pop it right there. That should be more than enough. And then we want to whitelist it to this, right? There you go. That should handle that. So if I go ahead and craft another one, should do the same thing. There you go. Fantastic. That's actually really cool. It's like on craft, mob, and pearl in the same kind of go. Have to clean this up and make it look a little better, but that's fully functioning right there. That's actually pretty nifty. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Cool. I can't see any problems. I keep thinking it's going to break some way, but no, it should be good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pretty this up, and I guess we'll figure out what else we're to work on here. I think there's one more mob we need to do right-clicking on, so maybe we'll do that. I think it's a ghast. Or we go ahead and finish off the philosopher fuel, because I think all we need from that is the Eclipse Ember blocks. I'll kind of decide while I'm doing this. So I decided to go ahead and do the automation for the Eclipse Ember blocks. We're doing it in the sewer pipe here, which should work out quite well. You go ahead and put these down just so I can place some placers here. Simple block placers from Dyer. And we'll kind of go through the process, right? So we'll have one there, one there. Is that right? Actually, let's do it this way. Actually, I'm fine with that. Let's go ahead and do that. This one will have to be aimed down. This way we'll go here. So we'll have the blocks are placed in between here so that you could interact with them, but they'll be placing the blocks in said areas, which will work out. Go ahead and get you out of here. Get you out of here. So basically what we need to do is put down coal initially. That'll turn that into primal coal that we have to craft up with the blocks. Do the same thing again for the blaze ember. So we put down this block, makes blaze ember, this one void flame, and this one eclipse, right? So that's kind of the process. Want to do it all in a nice little tight area though. We're going to be using level emitters from AE2 to kind of maintain the levels in the system, or I should say the crafting, and the sending of items, right? The export of items into these simple block placers based on how many of the blocks are in the system. So that's going to be how that works there. So let's go ahead and drop them off. I'll have to configure all those as well. So this one here is going to be at 4. Want it to emit when levels are above or equal, and then we're going to set that to primal coal. So that'll be what that one is. This one will just step up to blaze ember. Gotta stop trying to put in the slot here. That, and emit when levels are above or equal to the limit. Actually, why didn't that turn on? Why don't you turn on? Level, no, below limit. We want on below limits. I don't know what I'm doing. There you go, below limits. Then over here we'll do the same thing. This time it'll be void flame. 4, below limit. There you go. And this last one will be for the Eclipse Ember. That'll be 4 and below limit. So just make sure I have them all set here real quick. Looks like I do. They're all turned on, so that's a good sign because we do not have any of those blocks in the system currently. And that should be good. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and grab these stock export buses, and we'll have 4 of these, right? So that right there. This one here is going to receive coal. So the coal will go in here. You only send 1 by default. And do we need anything in here? Yes, we'll need redstone cards in every one of these. So let's actually drop these off. So the emitters can actually emit the redstone signal and turn them on and off, right? So that's going to be how that works there. This one here, I wanted to active with signal. So we'll do that for all 4 before I forget. Like this. And then we need to start filtering. So that one's filtered for coal. This one will be filtered for primal. There you go. So it's going to send the primal here. This one here is going to send the blaze ember. And this one will send void. That is good there. It should be good now to wire these up too. So let's actually go ahead and get those into place at least. There you go. Should place the first block here of coal. And that should get converted. But we still need to do a clicker. And what is the other thing we need to do? A breaker, right? So we'll go ahead and grab the clicker first. This one's going to do the skulk. So the skulk has to be put into this system. So what I'll do, I'll just put it back here for all that matters. Do that, and then figure out the position. So be back there. Then we need to figure that offset. There you go. That is dead center. And then it needs to go forward 1 more, right? So this, is that it? There you go. And it says going to right click that with the skulk. There may be an issue here. That's why I have a trapdoor, but we'll find out in a second. Let's grab skulk here. Let's grab 1 for right now. Actually, we'll grab a stack and see how it works out. Cool. Is it going to place it? Probably not anything without power, right? So let's actually give it a point. Let's do that. There you go. These placers are a little derpy. Notice I put one up there. We do not want that. So I need to turn on my compass for a second. So that way is north. So a way of stopping this is to grab yourself a trapdoor and go ahead and pop it right here and do that. And it happens just because it's the way the Dyer machines kind of place blocks. They do it based on cardinal directions. So in here, there's a way of setting the direction, right? You do that. Yeah, it's down, up. I want to set the north, and that should stop that. So if I go ahead and break the blocks here, trying to place it here, but there's already a trap door and you can't place it. So that fixes that. We don't have to worry about that. So I handled that, and that's everything, right? That. Oh, we need to get the items into it. That might be helpful. We'll need a regular export bus. Right there. And then we'll just send ourselves the skulk, right? Cool. And that'll handle that. That should start filling up. That's what we want to see. Go ahead and speed that up too. Cool. Might as well speed all these up while we're here and thinking about it. Good. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is the breaker. Maybe do that down here just so it's easy to configure. We'd have to go down 2 though because I need to give it power. We'll just use another point. Cool. And the breaker will have to be filtered as well. Make sure we don't break our whole setup here, because it'll start breaking everything. What I want to have it set to, I guess, is allow. And then I want to filter it to this stuff here. So the primal coal, the ember, the void flame, and the eclipse ember. And I think that's right. Then we'll have to set the Y value, right? So let's go ahead and move that up here. And then we need to make that a little bigger. Is that right? And then this here. What did I do? I messed up everything. I ruined Christmas. I need this, right? That down. That's good there. That should be our 3x3. That should be fine. Should be able to set this to, I think, Blockworks. So we're good there. Also, we'll have we'll have ourselves a interface. This will be to deliver the items. That's why we have the teleport upgrade on this pickaxe here, right? It doesn't really matter where this goes at all either. It'll be within range. Should be able to... Wait, what? Why can't I configure you? Not bound. I'm confused. Why can't I use that? Forge any disabled. What does that mean? Enabled. Okay, that's so weird that that's a weird key to have that on. Okay. Anyway, that is that. Then we'll go ahead and put it in here, and it should break this, right? Hopefully. Maybe not. What do I need it on? That. It's on the right area, right? I am missing something. Is it item? Ah, it's item. Okay. And we'll go ahead and make that really fast. And that's going to start that process. So this one's done, right? So it's already doing its thing. We can actually speed that up. There you go. Let's start crafting it. But right now it does not know how to craft blocks and put them into here, right? So it's waiting for the blocks. The way we're going to do that is just with a requester. Because why not, right? Don't have to do it this way. Just seemed like an easy way to do it. We'll have a requester back here while we're working, I guess. We'll do that. Go ahead and grab ourselves the @dire. And this will be the way I just maintain the limit. It'll be this stuff here, the coal. I need 1 block because for some reason you can't drag from GEI on the requester. All right, there. We'll set it to 4. And just do that there. And that should handle that. Cool. It'll start placing that, at which point I'm going to need 9 pieces of the next one before I can actually do the next one of the requester. But I think this is working. I think it's already set up. There's our Blaze Ember block, at which point I can set that up into a requester. Set that to 4. Cool. And then drop that back off in the system. Should place that. Then in a second we'll be up to the Void as well, right? So Primal, Blaze, Coal. This will be our Void, at which point we are done. That is actually really rad. Not taking any time at all. Go ahead and speed up again. Oh, we got a little bit of void here now. Let's go ahead and craft up the block. And that should be pretty much ready to go, right? Oh, I put primal coal here by mistake. I meant to have void here. Go ahead and fix that. Set that to this. Go ahead and drop that off. And that should start the next stage. And we should start seeing them down there too. And every time we see one down there, we know we're getting some of the actual eclipse. Right here. We already got 14. At which point I just need to teach the system how to turn that into blocks. And we are officially done. So yeah, this will be the little setup here. It's actually quite nice. I like it. It's just nice and compact actually. So that's good there. And then drop that off. I'll go ahead and speed this up for a little bit until we have 4 blocks of the system. I just want to make sure these here actually turn off, all the emitters. Because if they turn off after 4, we know it's fully working. Also, I love this wand. It doesn't seem like it ever runs out of anything. It's great. It doesn't go through a lot of fluid at all, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Also, what broke? There's no way I have 4 already, do I? There's no way. Let's go to Eclipse. I only have 1. What happened? Oh, did it run on coal? Did I forget to teach it coal? No, it has blocks of coal. Oh, I didn't put a craft card here. Huh. So let's go ahead and put a craft card here. Yeah, let's do that. There you go. That should probably be it right there. Yeah, that was the problem. Total derp. Anyway, I'll accelerate this and see if these turn off. You should only need 1 more of the void to be able to get our last Eclipse Ember and see if this turns off here. So this one, if this one turns off, we are good. You're gonna do your thing. Oh, it just turned off too as I went in there. There we go, it's off. We got 4. The rest should all be on. And it's going to buffer up to the 4 for all of them and then be finished, right? That's not bad at all. That's actually pretty cool. Nice. That'll handle that automation, no problem. Go ahead, toss this down. Probably come back with a few facades on these spots here. But, that'll be our automation right there. That's not bad at all. Probably that too. And this. Maybe some of that. Yeah, not bad at all. I like that. That's actually pretty rad. That is sick, actually. On that note, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually wrap this one here. So as always, guys, like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. It is always appreciated. I want you guys all to have a good one. See you guys in the next video. Later.